Hi there. Okay, so this is a video for the new Brahma Duo. The Duo, by its name, obviously means two cameras. Um, as you can see, if you look up on here, I've got my there even. This is the Brahma Duo. So this is the site. If you want to go to Shapeways site, is Shapeways Designer Cluster UK, or you can put VR Experience. Click on Brahma Duo camera holder. Let's have a look at this. So the idea of the design, there's actually two of these. So if I show both, actually, let me just open up both so you can see both. Open link in a new tab, and let's click on here. Right, there's two types. There's this one, and there's this one. They're both about the same price. I think this is a little bit cheaper, but don't let price be the issue here. Right, the reason for the two of them is this. If you can see from this picture here, with the standard one, which is the one I recommend. Okay, this is the one I recommend. They sit apart by about an inch. Okay, and the reason for that is that we can then get cables. The USB cables can fit, because I haven't got it here. The USB cables can fit into the back. In fact, I'll show you a good reason for this. If I click on here and click on this, this is something that ignore the design. This I completely messed the battery design up. Okay, so just ignore it. I'm doing a new version now, but I hope you can get to see what I'm trying to do with this. So you've got this little Brahma Duo, which is a carryable thing. It's tiny, but I'm mounting these two battery packs onto it, and each battery pack is like 30,000 or up to 50,000 milliamp hours. It can power that rig for probably a day. So for time lapse, a whole day time lapse, just set it up, bosh, off you go, and just do time lapse photography. That's one of the things we're going to do. And also is the fact that, in fact, I'll tell you what. Let's show you how easy it is to put this thing together. Right. So let's get this one here. Right. So first of all let's go with the standard one. This is again the one I recommend. Right. So all you do is you get your camera. I'll come back to the lenses. The lenses are obviously an interesting part of this whole project. Okay, because it's a 220-degree fisheye lens. Okay, right. So all we do is we get the camera, pop that into there, and there's a screw that goes into there, and we do it up. We want to do it a little bit tighter than that, obviously, but we get the other one in the back, and we do that up. I'll tell you what I will do. Let's just show you this, why I've done this design. Hang on 1 second. Don't you just hate that when people aren't prepared? Right. Now this is the reason for the standard one. What I want to do is I want to run my cables into here, and I just plug my cable into the USB port at the top and just clip that in there, yeah? So I've got that there, push that down. Then we get the other cable and we plug that, same thing, plug it into here on that camera, and then just feed that wire through that hole so it comes out the bottom. Okay, now remember these cables come with the cameras. Okay, and then we just hook that, push it into the, just pops into them. It's just very simple, pops into there. Okay, do that up. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got one with cables in it, and as you can see in the picture, okay, when it gets there, sorry about this, when it gets there, that we can now the battery pack is being ignored again. I messed this one up. There's a new one coming, much better design. But the two batteries back to back, one on each. You can actually power it from one battery. Most of these battery packs have two outputs. The battery packs only cost a tenner, £10-12. Unfortunately, the holder is going to be a bit more expensive because it's 3D printing, but the batteries are actually quite cheap. So you can then have this, instead of having an hour recording time for these, you can have a huge amount of recording time. So you could do 24-hour time lapse, I think, and these have solar panels on them. My original idea was, wouldn't it be good if they kind of topped up, you know? They do add power, but it's not a solar power system, okay? It really isn't. And I may well offer packs without the solar. I would have thought over a day you'd probably maybe add about 10% of the battery up, something like. It's not going to be one that you can leave permanently. If there's an interest in that, there are good solar packs that we can have with this, so which would double the power. So you put the batteries in there, run a solar pack on the ground wherever you're doing it, plug it in, and it'll top it up during the day and then run overnight. So in theory, we might be able to get it to run, permanently. But that's, if there's interest, I'll pursue it further. But for now, let's just say these give you 10 hours to 12 hours, something like that, actual constant usage. And the good thing is, because these cameras don't overheat, unlike some brands, slightly more expensive brands that apparently I hear so many stories that they overheat and you have to put heat sinks on. It's largely, I wouldn't be surprised if the rigs, they're closing them off the air, and they sound about putting fans. I keep my rigs open so I can let air through. Let me just come in here. I like to have the air blowing through. So that's the standard one. Let me just pop this into the other version. Okay, if I pop that out of there. Now, this, I recommend this version. I honestly do. But there are people who would disagree with me and say, no, you need them as close together as possible. Fair enough. So I've done this version as well for those people, and I'm not saying they're wrong. Okay, so this one, again, we just pop that into there. It's exactly the same functionality. So you get a choice here. And then we pop that one into there. Okay, same thing again. Pop the screw into there. Okay, pop the screw into here. But you'll notice there's a slight gap. Okay, it's about, I think it's about 10 millimeters I've given. That will let air get through to the back, because the back, there is, I mean, they don't get hot. I mean, trust me, you put it on your face all day and you wouldn't even bother it. But there is more heat at the back than there is around the rest of it. So it's a good thing to get air to blow through there. And then you've got your mounting. You can mount this to anything. The mounting's identical to both. Okay, you can see the mounting is exactly the same. It's the same size hole as all the other rigs. Right, so we've got that. Now, the one thing for the top is this. So now these weigh 200 grams. Bolt them. Let me just swap cameras again. If you was to bolt this underneath a drone, so bear in mind it's 200 grams. It's not heavy, but so you need a bigger drone. You're not talking about little baby ones, but a reasonable sized drone that can lift 200 grams, and you could bolt that underneath. The idea was that if it fell out of the sky and it came down and it hit the base, there'd be a little bit of protection. Not a huge amount, but a little bit of protection. Won't protect the lenses, because we can't really protect the lenses because they see right round, so you need that. But you're going to get a full 360 by 180 all the way round and everything. You'll see everything with these rigs. Same thing with these. The difference with this one, of course, is it's a bit more protection. It comes right to the edge of the camera as well. So if it comes down smack, it's this thing that's taken the strain. It isn't indestructible, but it is actually quite strong. Right. So mounting. Now it's the same as the other rigs. If you want to mount it onto, here we go. Remember, I have a one of these. I like these, and there's a link in there to show you. This is my stand, and it's got a ball joint so you can move it all around, and it has this little plate. Let me get closer again. It has this little plate. You see that? And it kind of hooks into it, locks into place. And then what I do is I put an M6 30mm bolt, 25mm 30mm bolt, with a load of these washers on it, and then you just push that through there, and then you just, with a locking nut, you bolt that in, and then it just sits on top, and it falls everywhere. Whatever. But it does help if you bolt it on. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, if you're just going to bolt it to a rig, just, I don't know what your mount is underneath, but there's a mounting point for you so you can mount it. If you've got a camera mount, here's another option. This is actually sent to me by Tony, a friend, one of the guys who bought this. We do quite a bit together now, and I will put the links to this. But it's basically it's like a, well, you can see what it is. it's like looks like a wheel, right? And it's got the thread there. That's the normal camera thread, which you can screw in. So let me show you. If you've got, for example, this is just a normal camera thread. It's the same thread that will go into there, yeah? So you've got that. Now, all you do is, let's get to another way. If you slide that in that hole there, okay, and get yourself a 1/4 inch locking nut, okay, a 1/4 inch locking nut, do that tight, that's nice. Now, I've actually got some of these, which are, they're converters from 3/8 thread down to 1/4 inch thread. And I've just got these sitting around, so I've just popped that onto there, and I just do that. I've got, you notice I've got a washer in there. Hopefully you can see there's a washer in there, and it's got a kind of a thing on there that I can do it up. And I just hold that, do that tight. Now that's pretty damn solid, and you can mount that. Then here you can mount selfie stick poles. You can mount it onto a tripod, all kinds of things. So that's actually a really nice way of mounting these cameras. So. Yeah, that's mounting to your camera rig. I'll put the links on there for all this information. Let's go right. I suppose the real big thing is this. Let me open up this is something that's where's the Brahma Duo? No, let's go to here. Right, if I click on that. If you look to the instructions, it tells you about it. Parts needed, 2 Xiaomi Yis. Okay. Sorry, I've done this again. Okay. So you can see here, I'm on the page. They're both the same instructions. If you scroll down, parts needed, 2 Xiaomi Yis. Okay, you get them from here. Okay, so they're about £53 at the moment. They fluctuate. They were about £48 not that long ago, but I think the exchange rate's changing. Okay, so you need 2 of them, but very importantly, you need 2 of these. Okay, the links are there, and these are 220-degree fisheye lenses. Okay, and they are designed to go on the GoPro 4, 3, and 3. Now, there's another one out there called Enter Pano, which are probably identical. They actually look like they're actually a bigger, small, solid lens. They may be better. I don't know. My results from this are bloody good, but you know. But these are £50, and the Enter Panos are £185 each. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So you got these. You can check. You'll see my video. In fact, I'll just load up. Should have actually loaded this up first, shouldn't I? Let's Duo rig. Okay, here we go. Right. Okay, so if I scroll around, this here is where the join. Right, can you see the middle of the painting? That's pretty much where the join is between the two. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit down the bottom here. You can see it's the software's kind of got a bit confused, but everything else is pretty well nicely stitched up. Yeah. Little tiny bit there. That's just. But the good thing is, all right, shut up, you're boring me. The thing about this is that there's only one join line because they're 2 domes. So there's one join line. So if it's out of the action, you're not going to notice it. And the software does a reasonable job. So it's the fitting of these. Okay, now we are going to do a separate video, and I will put a link in here at some point how to fit these. But I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about fitting these. So basically, I'll give you the gist of it. It's very similar. If you go and have a look at you'll find there are videos out there for hang on a second. For refocusing the lenses on the Xiaomi E's. Okay, it's the same thing. You basically take this cover off, and then there's hot glue, and you have to break that away until you can release the lens. Now, normally once you release it, all you're doing is you want to twist it and adjust it. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing, but instead of just adjusting the focus, you're going to take that lens right off, completely off, and screw this lens right back in again. That's the only difference. Well, there is one more thing. When you put this back on, okay, the Xiaomi has let me just grab this one so you can see. bear with me a second. Right, I'll just show you the difference. Right, if you can see on, let me focus on a bit more. Right, if you can see on here, can you see this plastic shroud? Okay, but there's no plastic shroud on here. Yeah, you might think there is, but there isn't. That's just the edge of that's the actual assembly for the lens. You have to remove this black plastic shroud. Okay, that's quite important. So you remove the shroud. It does then leave some little bits sticking up, which you need to pick off. Okay, it is a bit fiddly, but it's not complicated. Okay, it's not complicated. I gave this to, it says my wife. I started playing. Oh no, it's just going to take you quite a while, and because my eyesight's not the best in the world, and I said it might take you a little while to do this, right? And I'm like, and then by the time I finished saying it, she'd done it. So she just cleaned it up, and we know what we're gonna do, but and then you just screw these in. Now I have a very once they're on, they're their manual adjustment focus. You can focus them as much as you like, but of course it doesn't mean unless you lock that in, it's going to be a bit of a problem. So we came up with this high-tech, ingenious method of doing it, which we're going to try and improve on it with slightly better elastic bands. If you see these little tiny elastic bands, right? I know it sounds tacky, but it works beautifully. Okay, we've got these little elastic bands, right? And we literally, you just fit them over the lens. And we put 2 or 3 in there, actually, fun enough. And they pull in tight, and what it does is, we still need the better ones, but these little ones do the job. They kind of shrink into the gap, and they seal around the gap, so they keep the dirt out, and they stop the lens moving. Yeah, the lens won't move anymore. So it's actually a brilliant way of doing it. Now, so that's how you would do it. What we intend doing is also we're going to start building these for people. So it will be obviously more expensive. I don't know what the price is going to be because of the cost of the components seem to be going up a bit. So we're not too sure. Probably about I don't even want to quote a price. I will at some point. I'll quote a price. But if you want to do it yourself, all you're going to pay for is 2 fisheye lenses, which are about £45, £46 each. 2 Xiaomi's, about £53 each. The rig, which was I think it's showing up at £41. Unless you go for the slim one. The slim one is £37, about £5 cheaper, because less material. And then you can build this. Hang on. Then you can build yourself a really nice little rig. Now I'm gonna say again, please buy this one, okay? Because then you'll be able to get in. But all that, to be honest, if you want to buy both of them, for Christ, they're only 35 quid. If you want to buy both of them, actually makes sense. Then you can have the close ones together when you want it, but also the fact of the battery pack, when that comes along, you'll be able to build your battery pack, okay, and then have yourself a perfect little system. I mean, well, no, they're not perfect. Like anything, they're not perfect, but they're pretty damn good. There you go. You've got yourself a nice little 360 video, and which gives good results. Just remember the results, the size, the output of these is 2160 width by about 1070 pixels. So it's pretty much over the 2K, the horizontal is slightly under. So if you just scale it, well, in fact you don't even have to scale it, just upload it to YouTube and it works. I don't do any scaling. Okay, and it lets YouTube sort itself out. It probably will scale it just a fraction just to get that 1080p. But I found the results have been very, very good. It's above Theta S quality. My personal opinion. You'd have to take other people's word. I've heard that the Theta. I've seen the Theta. It's a great little device. And it's a consumer device. It does the stitching. It does everything at once. You need the color software to go with this at the moment still. So this is good for people who've got like a Brahma 6 and have invested in the software. This is a great little device to get yourself to carry around, put it in your pocket and that kind of thing. But if we can ever finish my software, then it'll be really good. Just as a caveat, I know anyone out there who does anything with marketing is going to say, no, you idiot, right? But the reality is, we are looking at a new. Oh, before I say that, so you can do the 1080p video, which is okay for VR. It's okay for VR, but I tell you what, it's really good. It's really good if you're doing this stuff. Say you're doing this stuff for. Hang on, let's put it over here. You're doing these videos and you want to put this in Facebook. This is perfect for Facebook, YouTube. The results are brilliant for that. Okay, VR not so much. You need the Brahma 6 with the 4K output. Right. Now I've said that. Oh, time-lapse photography. I think I mentioned this before. This is perfect for time-lapse photography. So if you just want to do YouTube stuff and you want to do time-lapse, this will record time-lapse animations in over 4K. All right, not video, not straight video. Record video. No, it doesn't do that. But if you're recording time-lapse, because it's capturing images at like 4.5K by 3.5K, which is, and then when you put it into, it's going to be probably 5K resolution. Okay, animations. By the time you put them all together, turn it into an animation, etc., etc. So it's going to be really good for that at a very low price. So if you build it yourself, £250, okay, for that, and 4K time-lapse image animated videos, normal videos, 1080p, okay, which are good again for Facebook and YouTube on these, there, but not so much for headsets. I tried it and it's all right, but I'm used to 4K, so so let's get to the cut. Now, what I don't want people doing, I like to try and be as honest as I possibly can. So I am at the moment looking at potentially getting higher resolution cameras. Now I know everyone's going to go, oh, this one. The camera I've seen, we're just waiting. We're just waiting to see when we get them. We've got to make sure we can get them at the right price, and we've got to make sure all this kind of stuff got to go through. And we will be, when we actually start building, if this camera's good enough, okay, and it does the job, it will output 4K video and probably 8K. That's not true, actually, probably 6K time lapse. The time lapse will be still very good, but it'll be 4K for the video. So as long as it lives up to the promise, which I think it will, we will do another version. Is call it I don't know what we call it, the Brahma Duo HD or something, or I don't know, who knows, 4K. Just call it the Brahma Duo 4K or something like that. But I want you to know now. So what I don't want to do is then we do this and then it all works because I've got to do a new rig. The rig's no good. I've got to do a new rig, completely different design. We'll do that. So it could be a month, 2 months that we may. It will be more expensive. Okay, it will probably 50% more. Okay, but I just want to be honest with people so that they know. Yes, there's something better than this coming, but it might not happen. Yeah. But so make a decision based on this. And this is a fantastic little rig if you're, if you stick with what it's really good at. Okay, but there you go. Hopefully you like that. And that's it. I suppose I could just, as I've tried to do in the others. So the other products we've got, obviously we have the, we have the Dolphin, okay, which is the underwater one, which is a bigger version of the Brahma 6, which everyone probably knows about. But I think this has got a lot of legs. Oh, and it comes in lots of colours. Loads of colours. Look, check all the colours. I've got this set for Susla. See all the colours. It's really nice. Or you can get it in black or white. Everyone orders it. Funny enough, I'm the only one who orders it in colours. I do it because they stand out, obviously. But most people order in black or white. Anyway, I hope that's been informative, and speak to you soon.